Hey guys, my name is Nibiri and it's time for another kicking of the week, and today I want to show you just another method on how you can create gated kicks. So the video for today is going to be based upon the fundamentals of gated kicks video that I released last week, and today I want to show you how I made this kick. And something you'll probably notice is that the tail isn't crunchy at all, and that's what I wanted to show you, how you can create a fat and gated tail without needing to distort it and creating an overly distorted sound. So the principle of it all is just going to be the same. We're going to find ourselves a little kick drum and we're going to put some reverb on there. But instead of using a sample, I tried to use Serum for this instance, and I made just a basic hardstyle punch in Serum. And this basic hardstyle punch sounds like this. So it's really basic. But it does the trick. It just has a nice low end and just a nice impact. And after creating this with just a sine wave and a random wavetable and putting some filter on there isn't really anything special on the effects side. It's just a distortion to just give it a little bit more of oomph, and that's all. After that, I just cut away the punch. Because, as I said last week, I showed you how you can just take away a little bit of the punch of a kick and just get a little bit more warmer reverb. And after that, I applied this reverb with just an extra filter. This filter was just working nicely for me, because you don't need to add this filter when you're making your own gated punch in Serum. So after turning these effects on, we're creating this sound. And it's already just a nice gated tail, and that's the thing. You can use anything with low end, just put some reverb on there and use that as a sample to start working on a gated tail. So now that we have the nice reverby sound from Serum, we're going into the mixer. And in the mixer, I'm just applying a little bit of a distortion, as soft as possible. As you can see, the mix is quite low. Just play it around a little bit with the tone so that it fits with your the tone of the reverb and the sound that we're creating, and just adding a little bit of hard clip, and that just compresses it a little bit. You can't even call this distorting. It's really barely noticeable what the change is, but it just compresses the signal a little bit. And after that, I boosted the bass because, well, I felt it needed some extra activity in the low end. So then we created that sound. So now we have our nice reverb tail. So if you don't want to use Serum, just use a sample, put some reverb on there, and create yourself a gated tail like this. And the thing is, right now we can just scroll through the waveform and see which part of the reverb we want to use. That's just up to your creativity, and just see which part of the sound you like. Once you get the nice part, and I use this part of this tail, you can always just duplicate it and layer it with another one. And just scroll through the waveform just a tiny bit differently and just see how it sounds together with your other tail. It's just basic layering, but by using a different part of the sample, it's still creating a fatter sound. And because I got a comment on that my gated kick was way too crunchy, this is a way that you can create a great gated kick without having to add that crunch. So we're basically going from our single sample tail into our double sample tail, and it sounds a lot more fat. So now by adding that second reverb tail, you're creating a bigger sound, and it also gives you some more options to play around with. So we can, of course, balance this differently than I did. So we have the first layer and the second layer. You can maybe put this a lot louder so that it sounds a lot different. You can even start distorting one of the two layers in here and just put it in a lot more quiet, so that you're having a little bit of a crunch somewhere, but you don't really hear it. But it just gives you some extra depth to play around with. So after playing around a little bit with these sounds and getting them to fit together, I just routed them to a bus. And I just applied some distortion on here, and it's again just really gentle distortion with just a little bit of a bit crush. And after the distortion, I applied an EQ, and this EQ is basically just to make the sub mono. And that's just important with the gated kicks, because both of the two layers have their own low end, their own sub in their own way of phasing, and you just want to make sure that they don't clash with each other. So just take away the side signal from around 200 Hz. So after exporting that, it gives us our reverb tail, and that's this one. And that sounds nice and full already. And I just added an earlier punch just because I wanted to test this doubly layered reverb tail. And after that, I applied a reverb that's coming straight from my punch. So I'm basically just routing this punch again to my reverb channel over here and just exporting that reverb and putting that reverb over our tail. So that we're creating this sound as a tail. And this extra reverb is quite important because it's just making the whole sound even bigger. It's important that these two sounds fit quite well, and then you can just add your punch in front of there and you should have a finished kick. And that finished kick sounds like this. So that's my method of creating gated kicks that aren't crunchy at all. I hope you liked this video and you learned something from this, and hopefully I'll see you back soon again. Cheers!